Kuvira! At least I think that's how you pronounce her name. Well, seeing as how I'm actually around for Korra this time around, as opposed to Book 3 where I was away, I'm going to be vlogging about Book 4. And let's get started with the first episode after all these years. First off, kudos to Nick for actually managing to keep the title of the episode hidden until the air date, as opposed to Book 3 where, like, the episode's leaked and then the episode title's leaked. But anyway, this is the first episode. It's set 3 years after the events of the first book. The Earth Kingdom has been thrown into chaos by the fall of the Earth Queen, and this soldier from the Earth Kingdom named Kuvira has basically taken it upon herself to basically reunite the Earth Kingdom. She's assembled an army, and she's basically bringing everyone under her control. And she's seemingly way more powerful and influential than this prince character who's supposed to become the king and be coronated, although I'm guessing it's probably not going to go well. And I don't know, maybe Kuvira will wind up being the Earth Queen. So yeah, Bolin's working for her. And the reason why everyone's so willing to join her is because there's all these bandits that are just making a mess of things. And Kuvira is coming in, bringing order, leaving everyone no choice. And the Airbenders are trying their best to, like, maintain order and everything. But they're just spread too thin. They can't do much. And the world, right now, it needs the Avatar. But unfortunately, Korra, I don't know where she is or what her deal is, but it was a really interesting reveal at the end. So, this was a really good start to the episode. Like, normally, like, this is probably the best start they've had. Book 1, while I liked its start, it did take a little while before we got to everything. Book 2, I liked, and Book 3 started off pretty good. This was the best one, although I have to keep in mind the fact that maybe they made Road episodes 1 and 2 assuming that they'd be airing them back to back, but it's unlikely. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be curious to see the second episode and if it feels like it was clearly intended to be aired next. But there was enough going on in this episode as it was. It was a really complex story, but a really good story. And hold on a second. But yeah, it was a really good story. It's first off, the show I really like how we're jumping ahead 3 years, because Korra oftentimes is a little slow to get to it, but 3 years have gone by, tons of stuff happens, so we're just thrown right into the middle of things, and we sort of have to pick up and be brought up to speed on what's happened since then. So we don't have to spend forever just picking up where Book 3 left off and learning, although the only downside of this is that there are a couple things I'm a little confused on as to where what happened, like, you know, Kuvira. I really like her as a villain and how she has good intentions but bad execution. Basically, she started becoming what the Fire Nation was in Last Airbender. But again, like, we don't really know what her deal is, but I'm sure we'll learn her story as time goes on. Also, we have no clue what's up with Korra, but that was a really cool reveal at the end. I'm really curious what's happening with her. But anyway, so yeah, I love how we're right in the middle of things. I like how the events in Book 3 in this episode are pretty much more or less a result of what happened in Book 3. Like, I really like, out of all the books so far, this one seems to be the one that's dealing the most with what happened in last season, as opposed to just brushing it aside like Book 1 did, or just kind of acknowledging it. No, like Book 2 did, or just kind of acknowledging it like Book 3 did. Yeah, this one, everything just seems to be directly linked to Book 3, and I really like that. And it's very Game of Thrones-ish. Like, in the sense we have this complex adult story going on, we have all these different plot lines going on all over the place, and it's very political, and I love Game of Thrones. I'm currently reading Storm of Swords right now, and I'll probably review the books at some point, but I digress. So, yeah, all these really good plot lines going on. We have Kuvira. I, again, really like Kuvira. She seems like a really interesting character, and she kicks some serious ass. I like how Bolin's working under her. Again, kind of showing that not everyone under Kuvira is bad, and even a Varric working under Kuvira. So yeah, again, I would say more about her, but I'm not really sure what her deal is. Again, I'll have to rewatch the episode to figure it out, but yeah. I like how Chief Beifong seems pretty involved in maintaining order, and Mako, he's assigned to escort the prince. The prince is a really annoying character, especially when he's flirting with Asami. I'm like, we're doing this character again, but I feel like he's either gonna die or something really bad's gonna happen to him. Like, especially given he's supposed to be the prince and there's like the king, and they're like, there's nothing going wrong. It's kind of like Game of Thrones when you're in a really happy, like, nothing seems like it could go wrong, and then something goes wrong. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I really like just how this is like the situation. We have a position where the world's sort of out of balance. It's sort of a question of, is Korra needed? It's like, on one end, it's like, we really need Korra, like, especially in the Earth Kingdom to help against Kuvira, but on the same end, it's like, is everyone doing fine? And also, if Korra were to show up, whose side would she take? Would she side with her friends? Would she side with Kuvira? She has friends on both sides. So yeah, it's a really complex story. Again, and ended with a really nice reveal of Korra, which I really hope we learn what happened to her. Because it's weird, the first clip they showed her right after Book 3, so maybe we're going to flash back next episode and see what has been going on with her for the past 3 years. So, in case you're wondering, I really like this episode. I really love this complex and adult story we have. It really makes me wish the creators had 3 seasons from the start, because it clearly shows that the creators can write much better stories when they know they have multiple seasons. Whereas, in case you don't know, they had this 3-season story plan, but Nickelodeon was skeptical. They just gave them 1 season. Then they gave them another season. And books 3 and 4 were given to them at the same time. So this season they went to book 3 knowing they were going to have a book 4. But yeah, I really like it. It's a really complex adult story. And again, it makes me wish the creators had all this from the start, because Korra could have been a really good show. And I really like how we're going back to that complex adult drama-based story, which they were trying to do in book 1, but I think they're handling it much better here, especially since, like, we can just get right to it. We don't need long introductions. And yeah, I mean, they have 13 episodes, so they need to plow away. So yeah, really looking forward to the next episode. So, what do you think of this episode of Korra? Please comment below and let me know. And as always, this is JStar360. Yeah. As always, this is JStar360 signing out. Take care.